Evening, everyone. Welcome to the Citizens Council meeting. If you haven't already, please silence your cell phones. City of Anamosa City Council agenda regular session Monday, October 27th, 2025, 6 p.m. Anamosa Library and Learning Center, 1.0 roll call.
Trump,
Here.
Hickson,
Here.
Tukin, Weimer,
Here.
Dansman,
Here.
Gompert,
Here.
All six members are present in chambers. 2.0 pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I love the echo.
3.0 consent agenda review and approve. There are three items listed on this evening's agenda. I will read all three, after which council can make a motion that includes the word consent, which will bring all three up for discussion in one single vote, or council can make a motion on any of the individual items. Item A, minutes from October 13th, 2025 regular sessions. Item B, current bills. Item C, liquor license.
Move to approve consent agenda.
Second.
Motion by Kay, second by Rich. Council discussion. Public comment. Haley, please conduct a roll vote.
Hickson,
Yes.
Tukin. I need to abstain. Weimer,
Yes.
Dansman,
Yes.
Gompert,
Yes.
Trump,
Yes.
Motion to approve consent with 5 in favor, 1 abstain, carries. 4.0 public hearings. 4.1 public hearing rezoning the property entitled parcel 2008-53 in the northeast northwest, excluding parcel 2004-66, also known as 1818 13th Street. Item A, mayor opens public hearing. Public hearing is now open. Proceedings for discussion. Item B, mayor closes the public hearing. Public hearing is closed. 4.2 ordinance 967, an ordinance rezoning the property entitled parcel 2008-53 in the northeast northwest, excluding parcel 2004-66, also known as 1818 13th Street, from A1 agriculture to 4R-2 multifamily residential in the city of Anamosa, Jones County, Iowa.
Move to approve ordinance 967.
A second. Motion by Rich, second by Dan. Council discussion. Public comment. Haley, please conduct a roll vote.
Tukin. Yes. Weimer,
Yes.
Dansman,
Yes.
Gompert,
Yes.
Trump,
Yes.
Dansman,
Yes.
Motion to approve ordinance 967 carries. 4.3 public hearing. Oops, excuse me. A, motion possible waiver of subsequent readings of this ordinance.
Move to approve subsequent readings of the ordinance.
A motion by Kay. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Todd. Discussion?
Is there any time limitations on anything for this?
No, not necessarily on this one.
Okay.
So we're not holding up any approvals or anything if we get second, third readings done. No, they've already, construction development is proceeding. It just goes part and partial with the annexation. So it's kind of just the process we need to go through for it.
Any public discussion? We do have a motion to waive subsequent readings. Haley, will you conduct a roll call, please?
Dan Smith,
Yes.
Robert,
Yes.
Brown,
No.
Kingston,
Yes.
Tukin. Yes. Weimer,
No.
Motion to approve waiving the readings carries 3 in favor, 2 opposed. 4.3, public hearing. Public hearing on proposal to enter into general obligation loan agreement. Item A, mayor opens a public hearing. Public hearing is now open. Proceedings for discussion. B, mayor closes the public hearing. Public hearing is closed. 4.4, resolution 2025-71. Resolution taking additional action on proposal to enter into a general obligation loan agreement. Is there a motion to enter into that loan agreement?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Rich, second by Kay. Council discussion. Public comment. Haley, please conduct a roll call.
Robert,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Kingston,
Yes.
Tukin. Yes. Weimer,
Yes.
Dan Smith,
Yes.
Motion to approve resolution 2025-71 carries. 4.5, public hearing. Public hearing on the proposed expansion of the Anamosa Highway 151 urban renewal area. Item A, mayor opens the public hearing. Public hearing is now open. Proceedings for discussion. Item B, mayor closes the public hearing. Public hearing is closed. 4.6, resolution 2025-72. Resolution to declare necessity and establish an urban renewal area pursuant to section 403.4 of the Code of Iowa and approved Union Urban Renewal Plan Amendment for the Anamosa Highway 151 urban renewal area.
Move to approve resolution 2025-72.
I'll second.
Second by, motion by Rich, second by Dan. Council discussion. Public comment. Haley?
Dan Smith,
Yes.
Weimer,
Yes.
Tukin. Yes. Kingston,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Robert,
Yes.
Motion to approve resolution 2025-72 carries. 4.7, ordinance 968, an ordinance providing for the division of taxes levied on taxable property in the October 2025 addition to the Anamosa Highway 151 urban renewal area pursuant to section 403.19 of the Code of Iowa.
Move to approve ordinance 968.
I'll second.
Motion by Rich, second by Brooke. Council discussion. Public comment. Haley, please.
Weimer,
Yes.
Tukin. Yes. Kingston,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Robert,
Yes.
Dan Smith,
Yes.
Motion to approve ordinance 968 carries. Item A, motion recommended waiver of subsequent readings of this ordinance to now be put upon its final passage and adoption recommended by Dorsey and Witt.
Motion to not have subsequent readings.
Second.
Motion by Kay, second by Todd. Council discussion.
So is there time limitations on this one?
This one there is, yes.
Okay.
Passed and published by December 1st.
Okay.
So we would only have one, would you have
enough time to get it published if we had 2 meetings in November? I don't think that would be likely due to the Thanksgiving holiday. Okay. Thank you.
Any public comment? Haley, would you conduct the roll vote?
Dugan? Yes. Kate Smith?
Yes.
Crump?
Yes.
Gompert?
Yes.
Dan Smith?
Yes.
Weimer?
Yes.
Motion to waive subsequent readings carries. 4.8, resolution 2025-73. Resolution setting a date of meeting at which it is proposed to approve a development agreement with Shell Properties LLC, including annual appropriation tax increment payments.
Both of these agenda items, this one included just setting the meeting for the next council meeting for that TIP development agreement.
I'll make a motion to set a public hearing then for November 10th at 6 p.m.
I'll second.
Motion by Rich, second by Dan. Council discussion. Public comment. Haley?
Kate Smith?
Yes.
Crump?
Yes.
Gompert?
Yes.
Dan Smith?
Yes.
Weimer?
Yes.
Dugan? Yes.
Motion to set the date for resolution 2025-73 carries. 4.9, resolution 2025-74. Resolution setting the date of a meeting at which it is proposed to approve a development agreement with Rummel Properties LLC, including annual appropriation tax increment payments.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2025-74.
Second.
Motion by Rich, second by Todd. So we're setting that date for November 10th or
November 10th.
November 10th.
November 10th. Yes, thanks. Any council discussion? Public comment. Haley, please.
Crump?
Yes.
Gompert?
Yes.
Dan Smith?
Yes.
Weimer?
Yes.
Dugan? Yes. Kate Smith?
Yes.
Motion to set a date for resolution 2025-74 carries. 5.0, proposed items unfinished business. 5.1, resolution 2025-75, setting the date for a public hearing to approve plans and specifications and award the contract for the Elm and Hickory Sanitary Sewer Rehabilitation Project.
I'll make the motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Dan, second by Todd. Council discussion. Public comment. Haley?
Kate Smith?
Yes.
Dugan? Yes. Weimer?
Yes.
Dan Smith?
Yes.
Gompert?
Yes.
Crump?
Yes.
Motion to set the date, public hearing for resolution 2025-75 carries. 5.2, resolution 2025-76, approving the appointment, contract and salary for chief of police for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2026.
Move to approve.
Second.
Second by you, Dan.
Yes.
Motion by Kay, second by Dan. Council discussion. Public comment. Haley?
Dugan? Yes. Weimer?
Yes.
Dan Smith?
Yes.
Gompert?
Yes.
Crump?
Yes.
Kate Smith?
Yes.
Motion to approve the appointment and contract salary for chief of police carries. 6.0, council action items. 6.1, project status update, HR Green.
Good evening, Melissa Clow with HR Green. Our project status report for dated October 23rd, 2025, Third Street Sidewalk Extension. There still is no National Environmental Policy Act or SHPO Historic Preservation Office clearances from the DOT. We did receive clearance today from the historic properties. So that's at least one step. And we cannot submit check plans until these clearances happen. I guess for some background, a year ago, these clearances on a project like this would have taken about 2 weeks to a month. Right now, they're taking about 6 months. And that's just DOT, Federal Highway Administration. And I honestly don't know what the impact of the government shutdown will be on Federal Highway Administration and their clearances. So I'm trying to ask questions to the DOT and we'll keep you guys posted. But that's all we can get out of them. We're having the same issues on other projects and other communities. So, number 2, sidewalk program. We have created the dashboard. We had questions for Tiger Eye and we got some clarifications a few weeks ago. So we're cleaning some things up and I'm hoping to have answers for you guys at the next council meeting. Water treatment plant aerator replacement project has been awarded to Woodruff Construction. Contract is pending final authorization by the city. Sewer in the alley between Ford and North Huber. Construction is nearly complete and ahead of schedule. Substantial completion is for the contract is December 31st, 2025. City GIS services, continued maintenance of the dashboard. HR Green provided Kaylee Palmer with GIS training on the cemetery application, as well as showed her how to view other GIS data and make updates with ArcGIS online. Number 6, Dillon Military Bridge, no updates. Number 7, sanitary sewer rehab near Elm Street and Hickory Street. That is currently out to bid with a letting date of November 4th, 2025 and a spring 2026 construction start. City of Anamosa Master Services Agreement. I have been working with Quick Trip and Shive Hattery, coordinating with the traffic study review for the new Quick Star at the old site, as well as site plan and access locations. So that is it. Are there any questions or comments?
I have a question.
Yeah.
On the last item, the traffic study,
Mm-hmm.
for those of us that live out in that particular neighborhood, that intersection is becoming very problematic.
Yes.
Is there going to be some kind of advice coming on how to avoid accidents out there? Because just from turning off of 64 to go north, there are at least 4 ingress and egress points on the west side of
Yep.
that street, and there are 2, actually there may be even 3,
There's
4,
4.
5. There's 9 points of entry within less than a quarter of a mile on either side of that. And I know when I come home from work and come off of 151, if someone's turning into that first entrance into the old motorcycle museum entrance, there's at some point going to be a lot of work for our police and a lot of work for our car people, body people.
Yep.
So is there some plan in place to figure out what to do with that mess?
At this time, we have been working with Quick Trip and they were required to do a traffic study for just their site for the city and also required by the DOT because that traffic signal is also the on and off ramps for Highway 151. I was just notified by Jeremiah that there are additional developments or improvements that are going to happen on the west side of Chamber Drive also. So that will need to be discussed because I do know that there are issues there. So.
Well, that then brings up another question. Going back to the Third Street sidewalk extension with the increased potential of traffic, is that going to impact that?
Yeah, and that was one of my review comments back to Quick Trip is that they need to, I've sent them our plans to date. And I've had them incorporate that into what they're working on for a revised traffic study and how that would impact any of the signal timing or anything else with the added pedestrians being present. So again, I think if we need a larger study of this intersection, it would all need to be connected. At this point with Quick Trip, they were hoping to maintain pretty much no curb there. The old Tysons didn't really have a defined entrance, and based on SUDAS design standards for that property size and its location, it's restricted to 2. They're proposing 3, and I've told them that they would have to come to the city to go beyond what those design standards are at this time. So I think something of the same is going to have to be addressed on the west side of the road as well. So I can follow up with Jeremiah on that and get some direction on what needs to be done.
I did have a phone meeting with them the other day as well, and we did talk about those entrances. Essentially, I just repeated what Melissa had informed them and said, I can't give approval at this time. That's going to have to be a council decision once it gets to that point. They can certainly draft the specs to show that, but they're going to have some documentation indicating whether or not it's going to be a problem and support for that.
Same as this have to go to planning and zoning before it gets to us.
Yes.
I just think that it's gonna be important when that decision point comes up that to make sure that the public knows about any public hearings on it so that they can, because I know several people in the neighborhood that frequently comment on how dangerous that is becoming or has been.
And that has been a recurring message. Early discussions, before they even had a concept in place, we kind of warned them about the current situation in the intersection and the potential for worse depending on how it goes. So we've tried to do as best we could to remind them of that throughout the process.
So that potential business is conducting the traffic study as it pertains to the property they are looking at only?
For Quick Trip,
Yes.
yes.
So once that comes in, and then we need to broaden the scope for the opposite side. Why wouldn't we just take care of that all at one table setting?
We can, at this point, it's what's required per code of their developer is what we've required. So,
But then at that point, all we'll see is a snapshot. Because it's just one side of the road.
it's existing conditions and how it impacts that property. So, yes.
Just seems to be non-value added to only look at one side of this and not the entire, have the scope dictate encompass the whole area.
Right. It's just what,
I understand.
yeah.
But it doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't. I agree with that. So, but it's what we can ask, the most we can ask of that developer to do.
Also, anything else from Melissa? Thanks for status update.
Thank you.
6.2, resolution 2025-77. Set the wage for the position of full-time deputy city clerk for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2026. Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Todd, second by Rich. Council discussion.
Jeremiah, is the wage we proposed, is that the entry level wage, or are we adjusting that?
It is if you read the conditional offer that started out at the entry level, and then the way I've been writing these ordinances is that after their probationary period ends, and they meet a satisfactory performance evaluation, there is a slight bump. That way just avoids coming here twice. So it's all in that resolution, however.
Thank you.
Anything else? Public comment? Caleb?
Weimer,
Yes.
Dan Smith,
Yes.
Bamber,
Yes.
Crump,
Yes.
Hickman,
Yes.
Tukin. Yes.
Motion to set the wage for the position of full-time deputy city clerk, resolution 2025-77 carries. 6.3, resolution 2025-78 to set the wage for the position of full-time streets labor for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2026.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Rich, second by
Me.
Kay. Thank you, Kay. Council discussion. Public comment. Haley, please.
Dan Smith,
Yes.
Bamber,
Yes.
Crump,
Yes.
Hickman,
Yes.
Tukin,
Yes.
Weimer,
Yes.
Motion to approve the wage for position of full-time streets labor, resolution 2025-78 carries. At this time, congratulations, welcome to Anamosa, the new chief of police, the new full-time deputy city clerk, and the new full-time streets laborer. 6.4, resolution 2025-79, amending the city of Anamosa personnel policy manual.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
Motion by Kay, second by Dan. Council discussion.
I do have a question. What is this spring holiday? That was a new one to me.
So it's currently in the policy that way. I believe it is Easter. Is that correct? I believe it's Easter.
Okay.
So it's, I believe the politically correct way to state that.
Good Friday.
Yes.
I mean, we've got Christmas, so I didn't know,
Yeah.
you know.
We didn't change it. We left it the way it was.
Okay.
Yes.
I have a question just under the organizational chart and chain of command issues. Has it always been historically, has the city council been part of the chain of command or outside the chain of command as far as reporting grievances or anything of that nature?
So it depends on the issue. Basically, personnel policy, confidential disciplinary matters do not involve the council. Because it creates kind of an irreconcilable issue where those matters can't be discussed in an open session. So they're handled as administrative matters. If they are policy related issues or anything to do with job requirements, anything like that, then those certainly can be.
And just so I understand that the manual as proposed has been reviewed and adjusted or drafted according to our legal counsel for the city, correct?
Yes. This has been a long time coming. this is recommended to be reviewed and updated as needed every year. The last one was 2021. So there was some just language changes that needed to happen. We did add some pregnancy leave, some changes with birth, birthing requirements, some lactation sections in there as well. Otherwise, a lot of it was just changes to language.
And so all of our new hires are presented with this. Do we ever have a review period or a review with our existing employees?
I can't answer that because it hasn't changed since I've been in this position. When it was in 2021, it was dispersed to all of us, to my knowledge, but we didn't have a formal review of it. The intent is to get it out and to make that a priority, to make sure we get reviews and signatures on every at every level of the employees.
I just think it would be a good idea for us to have all of our employees, old and new, be familiar with what if this is what is adopted, then I think we need everybody to have at least submit some documentation that they have read the policy and have or understood what the policy is.
Yeah, the final page of it has an acknowledgement agreement, which I believe I've checked back in the personnel files. I believe that's how it was handled last time, was an acknowledgement and waiver or acknowledgement and signature agreement, which is included in those files. Thank you.
Do the employees who work with youth have any additional training about working with youth?
About working with youth? I'm not sure that I understand.
Well, it's a little different, I think, working with teenagers as their boss than it is working with a peer as their boss. And I just wondered if there was any additional training for.
We haven't considered that at this point. The only thing, there's a general section in there that just talks about the training of new employees.
Right.
I suppose that could be a part of that. We could issue something or require that as part of that initial training period.
I just wondered.
Yeah. Yeah, good to consider something like that.
Refresh my memory. Does the policy manual have a nature of change or revision section that details out when changes are made, updates are made to it?
No, it specifies simply that it can be changed at any time. Again, doesn't specify how that happens or the manner in which it happens. Again, it's just kind of commonplace to do an annual review, but of course, if something were to come up that needed to be handled immediately, we could always adopt a new one at any point in time.
Or just thinking out loud that if when it comes to, I guess, current employees, personnel, to only have to scan through the manual for what has changed versus trying to reread every section so that they are familiar with the changes. Now, obviously, with new employees, they would be in a sense responsible to know from cover to cover, just a way maybe to expedite familiarity with the changes, to have a section at the end that identifies, revision A, here was the changes, revision B, or, whatever classification you give to revising of that document. Something to think of moving forward.
Well, let me ask you this too. If you do revise it, is it an immediate impact or is it a 30-day impact? Or 15-day impact so that by the time all employees get it, they have time to review and sign off.
Yeah, none of that is specified. It's an immediate
Okay.
adoption, but we could certainly enact something along those lines. And to the mayor's point, I think we probably should, there was enough changes just throughout,
Yeah,
kind of
A
scattered.
lot of changes.
I like the idea of that. It may be best if we just throw together some sort of a PowerPoint or something to kind of go through, just because a lot of them are just scattered throughout. So
You can even make it a proper so that, you can make the changes to that, without having to change
Yeah.
and adopt the document itself.
yeah,
That's for you to decide how you want to manage and navigate that. So we do have a motion to approve. Any other council discussion? Public comment? Haley, would you conduct a roll vote, please?
Bamber,
Yes.
Crump,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Tukin. Yes. Weimer,
Yes.
Dan Smith,
Yes.
Approval for amending the Anamosa personnel policy for resolution 2025-79 carries. 6.5, resolution 2025-80, approving the addition of 4 streetlights at 1205 Walworth Avenue.
Second.
Motion by Todd, second by Rich. Council discussion. Public comment. Haley?
Tukin.
Yes.
Weimer,
yes,
Dan Smith,
Yes.
Bamber,
Yes.
Crump,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Approval of additional streetlights under resolution 2025-80 carries. 6.6, resolution and possible action. Possible date, times for upcoming strategic planning, capital improvement planning work sessions.
I don't want to spend a lot of time on this. I just want to throw it out and kind of get some suggestions from the council. It's been just a little while since we've engaged in this as a council. I'm working with the department directors right now to try to get our side of things kind of hammered out and something thrown together for the council to review. But I'd like to schedule, and again, I'm a little bit behind on this. I'd like to have these done after Pumpkin Fest, but before we start budgeting. So it'd be really nice to try to get these done within the next month or so. But I didn't know what the council's thoughts were as far as, do we want to designate a specific work session to this on a different day than council meetings? Do we want to try to throw these on the end as shorter sessions? Just any days not specifically work or times? Or is there a preference on even handling it in that manner? Do you want me to prepare something, kind of get it thrown together and just disperse it out, let you all take a look at it, and then we schedule something?
If I have a voice in it, I'd like to say have a voice in it. My preference would be to try to do it on a Saturday as opposed to after work in the middle of the week.
How long do you think it might take?
That I don't know, only because we've never really engaged in it before for a while. I'm going to try to get it as organized as possible, thrown together, and get a better idea of that. I really hope not more than a couple of hours, either divided into 2 sessions or 1 session lengthy. I prefer not to do that, but if we do it on a specific day, a Saturday or something, perhaps it might not be that bad to do it that way.
Okay.
My preference would also be a date not of a council meeting, as this is a higher level planning work session, and I would prefer to have fresh, clear mind when entering into this versus the same night of a council meeting.
And these would be conducted similar to work sessions for budget, so public would be able to be present, but the discussion would not necessarily be public oriented, is that correct?
That's correct, yeah. And if it's any indication, I mean, it's quite possible that the public would generally not be interested in attending something like that. Obviously, not that they couldn't, but they may become somewhat dry and
But on the other hand, strategic planning does involve planning for future,
yeah.
future development or future whatever, so. At least then. Be transparent. The count or the public would be able to see. Kind of. Hear at least what's being discussed.
I'm gonna try to make them as exciting as possible.
Well, when you find out how long or what it's going to entail for time, because I'd just as soon get it done in one setting if we could. And I would be okay coming in on an evening, but like Rod said, not on a council meeting night.
There's no action from the council on this. Looks like you have the ball.
Got it, thanks.
Very well. 6.7, review and approve consent agenda pay request totaling $437,161.70. There are 8 items listed. I will read all 8 off, which at that point, council can make a motion that includes the word consent. That'll bring all 8 up for discussion in one single vote. Or council can make a motion on any of the individual items. Item A from EC Cog in the amount of $8,000 for the comprehensive plan phase 2. Item B from EC Cog in the amount of $450 for the downtown facade revitalization project. Item C from HR Green in the amount of $10,560.65 for the Ford and Huber sanitary sewer replacement project. Item D from HR Green in the amount of $4,870 for the Elm and Hickory sanitary sewer rehab project. Item E from Martin and Garner in the amount of $32,250 for the downtown facade revitalization project. Item F from Snyder and Associates in the amount of $12,540.40 for the wastewater treatment plant flow EQ basin project. Item G from Chick-fil-A Excavating in the amount of $310,366.85 for the Ford and Huber sanitary sewer project. Item H from Chick-fil-A Excavating change order in the amount of $58,109.80 for the Ford and Huber sanitary sewer project.
Move to approve consent.
Second.
Motion by Rich, second by Kay. Also discuss any of the 8 items.
So is this change order, just unsuitable soil, Steve, or what was going on there?
Yes, it was. There was more unsuitable soil in the alley and in under Cedar Street that they had to bring in man sand and rock to make it so it'll be a good base and both streets will stay.
How wide did they go with that, you know?
The alley,
No, how wide on the sewer install? How wide did they have to go out with the rock?
they kept it. They had a 4-foot trench box that they pulled through, but the soil was really bad up there.
Okay, thank you.
Steve, what would be the bogey in that for the soil being bad? I mean, obviously, sections of areas have different soil. I realize that from the ag side, but what was so bad in this?
It wouldn't meet compaction, and I believe it wouldn't meet. That's what I was told. Wouldn't meet compaction, so then the street would settle. And I believe Haley. She was sick today, so she was going to zoom in if you want her to answer that. But I do know that it would not meet compaction. So then the street, the alley would settle and the asphalt would break up, and same with the street.
And the engineer dug into the weeds on this just to
Yes.
verify that it.
They just underestimated how much that they thought they were gonna need.
We didn't do any borings at all up there.
No, they did not. They did not have time because this project took so long, because when we first started this project, the city technically didn't own the alley. It belonged to all the property owners. So we had to purchase the alley and then get all the easements, and that took 3 years.
Do you recall what the footprint of that area was? Are we talking a 100-foot section that the change order affected? Was it the?
No, part of it was for under the portion of Cedar Street, the chain had redone from Huber to Ford. And then part of it was to finish out the end. And I can't tell you how much. We had a line item in the bid, and we had a price for it. So the only thing they had to do was up the quantity.
I would say any future projects we do like this, we ought to require borings from the engineer. See what we're dealing with.
Well, that was part of my reason for the question. You know, you can certainly do a bore sample of an area,
Mhm.
but then you travel down the street or, 500 feet, you got a whole different
Mhm.
sample or a whole different sediments and whatnot.
That's what we found out with the retention tank,
You know,
Yeah,
because they did some borings, but then they didn't do,
do it far enough.
well,
They missed
they
the
missed some
rock.
areas
Yeah.
that,
yeah.
so even with borings, you're not gonna be 100%.
But Dan's right, it would be, it'd be favorable to the city to conduct some type of bore sample.
We'll keep that in mind for the next big project like this that we do.
I get that, that'll come at a cost, but
It will.
it's better to know upfront what the overall cost will be
Mhm.
versus on the back end.
Mhm.
Steve, thanks for filling us in.
Hi, everyone. This is Haley Gendrich with HR Green. I'm sorry, I was having technical difficulties there and could not unmute or call in. Are there any unresolved questions there with the boring thing that I could answer?
I don't think so. It's just consensus of the council that we may look to have samples, soil samples conducted with future projects. We know it may not have detected with this scenario, but it just might, we look at moving forward.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. I will say, in projects where there's existing sewer, we don't typically spend the money. It probably would have been 10, 15, maybe $20,000 in borings along the route. And if there's existing sewer, we kind of make the assumption that the soils, if they were poor, they were replaced when the sewer was put in originally, which obviously is an assumption, is not always correct. And in this case, they kept the existing poor quality soils. So yes, had we spent that extra money to do the borings, we would have known. But we had a hunch that maybe we would run into this. And that's why we included the bid item for replacement of unsuitable backfill material, so that we would have an established unit price and you guys wouldn't end up paying, a surcharge or a large change order amount because the contractor's taking advantage of the situation. So they were held to a unit price, and, you could argue you spent less money doing it this way because you didn't have to pay for the soil borings. But yes, you are now doing a change order versus having that quantity in the original bid.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Also, any further discussion? You go there. Any public comment? Haley, please.
Kingsman,
Yes.
Tukin. Yes. Weimer,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Schaumburg,
Yes.
Crum,
Yes.
Consent motion for pay request carries. 7.0 City Administrators Report.
I have nothing this week.
8.0 Mayor and Council Reports. 8.1 Mayor's Report. I don't have anything. 8.2 Council Reports.
I think the library's gonna like it that we get new heating facility now. With the loan update.
Just don't turn the heat up too high.
Right now, the staff don't have any heating or cooling, so we'll turn it as high as we need to.
9.0 Public comment for items not on the agenda. 10.0 Adjournment. This evening's meeting is adjourned. Thank you for taking time to come out.